So I had a whole other video planned for this weekend. It was going to be a PCOS video. It was going to be waxing my face. It was going to be just a constant ramble about the trials and tribulations of PCOS, at least as I experienced them. But it was filmed weeks ago, and it was filmed well before the announcement about Roe v. Wade came. Now, I know I'm in the UK, and I know specifically I'm in Scotland, where hopefully, God willing, if there is such a thing, something like that will never happen. However, I have found the entire discourse around Roe v. Wade incredibly upsetting, and I felt weird uploading the video that I had scheduled for this month without addressing it, because in that video I talk a lot about fertility and the decision as to whether or not to have children, and how I'm personally affected by that, and how PCOS changes that kind of discourse and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to put that video up without addressing this, because frankly, this is way more important right now. It felt odd to be talking about fertility and the decision as to whether or not to have children without discussing this. And obviously this is super important, and it's a massive, massive issue. So I figured it kind of requires its own video. So while yes, I am in the UK, I am also a bloody woman, and am frankly terrified for what this means for women everywhere, because frankly, the US is a hellscape. We all know that by this point. It's terrible. But it sets a precedent that I don't think any of the supporters, especially the female or uterus owning portion of the supporters of this particular situation, have thought about. My channel is my channel, and it is a safe place for anyone who wishes to discuss this kind of thing respectfully and kindly and with zero judgment. So if you're gonna come into my comment section and start berating people or start berating me for my particular opinion on this, I'm just gonna delete your comments and block you, because honestly, I just, that's not what this is for, okay? This is a safe place where anyone with a uterus or a condition affecting said uterus, or anyone who happens to love someone with a uterus, can come and discuss things safely. And I did mention in my PCOS video that I really wanted to start maybe like a subreddit or a Discord server about this kind of thing, where anyone with a uterus, sorry men, not for you, shocking, I know, but where anyone with a uterus can come and discuss things like PCOS and endometriosis and fertility issues and reproductive health in general in a safe and judgment-free zone, and share experiences and learn from each other. I mentioned that in the video that I haven't posted, because this is going up first, but I'm also going to mention it here because if that is something that gets enough interest, then I would really, really love to do that. So please let me know if that's something that you're interested in, because I think that would be amazing, especially off the back of what has happened recently in the States. Obviously, I would be incredibly remiss in my research and in my, despite having a tiny platform, I feel a certain sense of responsibility to make sure that my facts are straight. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention all the other countries where abortion is either completely banned and carries a very heavy prison sentence and is akin to murder, as well as the other countries where it is massively restricted and all of that kind of thing. So this isn't just about Roe v. Wade. This is about women's reproductive health and the ramifications of not having it available to women, and the ramifications of penalizing women for trying to be healthy and safe. And because at the end of the day, right, this is not about babies, is it? Be honest. It's not about babies. If you sit there and you think you're pro-life and you're glad that legal and safe abortions are being overturned left and right, you're a fucking nut job. I'm sorry. I've got no respect for someone who thinks that that's pro-life. It's not. It's not. Are you really pro-life? Take America, for example, right? America's a really good example of this because, frankly, they're doing just about everything wrong. So let's break this down, right? So you're pro-life and you think that if a woman has an abortion, that that is murder. Okay, so you ban abortion. Fine, whatever, right? Abortions are now banned. You then get married. You're a guy. You then get married to a lovely lady, and then a few years down the line you start having children, and that's all very well and good, but the first pregnancy that you have, given that you've never experienced pregnancy before, especially as part of a partnership, the first pregnancy you have is maybe ectopic, or maybe there is a massive deformity that would make it completely unsustainable for life to exist outside of the womb. And you find out nice and early, right? You find out maybe about 12 weeks or so, and your wife wants an abortion, but you've just fucking banned abortion. So now what happens? Well, in the event of an ectopic pregnancy, your wife now dies. So congratulations, you've just killed someone. Are you really pro-life? Are you really pro-life if you want all these babies to be born into either financially, emotionally, or physically unstable environments because people were not equipped to look after another life, only to have them then go to school and be the victim of a mass shooting? Are you really pro-life if you agree with separating children from their parents at the borders when they're trying to escape famine and war and persecution from other countries? Are you really pro-life if you think it's okay to walk around carrying an assault rifle? Are you really pro-life if you think that this is where it ends? Because this is not where it ends. What's going to happen next is they're coming for contraception. They're coming for same-sex marriages and relationships. They're coming for God knows who else. And we just keep jumping back in time until eventually we're back in an incredibly dark period of humanity that literally no one should ever want to repeat. The only people who want a repeat of what it used to be like before all of these human rights laws came into being are the people whose pockets are being lined by this. It is nothing but a power trip. It is nothing but controlling women, because you know what? There's a problem with women. Specifically, I would say my generation and younger. I think I see a few older generation women, but not as many. But there is a problem with the women in our generation and younger. And that problem is that they open their fucking mouths and they have an opinion and they want their opinion to be heard and they want equality and they want the same fucking treatment and they want to be safe in their own homes. Heaven fucking forbid men should not have power over women. And that's all it is. It's not about babies. It's never been about babies. It's about controlling women's bodies and stopping them from making decisions and being autonomous. Why are you doing that? Why are you so insecure that you feel the need to do that to us? I'll tell you fucking why. Because you're just a bunch of little men running around thinking you're more important than you actually are. And the fact of the matter is, loud women get shit done. They just want to control us. And they're controlling us in the worst possible way. Because now, not only are there states where it's now illegal to have an abortion, just like there are 20 other countries in the world where abortion is completely banned, and dozens of other countries where it is severely limited and dangerous to get still. But you've now also got the ramifications on men, which have not really been talked about. I've seen one person talking about the ramifications of this as they pertain to men, and that's it. And it's actually a really good point, and one that I hadn't thought about, because men aren't going to stop having sex with women. They're just not. Are they? Because that's a very common, very popular argument at the moment. All these men that are pro-life, which doesn't exist, by the way, going, oh, well, you could just stop having sex. Sir, do you know what happens to women who refuse to have sex with men? Then you've got contraception. Well, they won't get rid of contraception. They absolutely fucking will, mate. It's next on the list. It is next on the list. I guarantee it. And what happens when they start policing contraception and making it more and more difficult and prohibitively expensive for women to get hold of contraception is that then when you insist on having sex in your relationship with a woman, and when you accidentally create a baby that neither of you are ready or prepared for because there's no contraception, you're then on the hook financially for that kid for the next 18 years. Are you honestly ready to do that? Or are you ready to stop having sex with your wife or girlfriend? Or are you ready to stop having one-night stands that no matter how much contraception you're using, mistakes still happen and a baby could still be a product of that? Are you prepared to stop having sex? Are you prepared to get a vasectomy in order to help the people in your life with uteruses feel safer? Because if you're not, then you are absolutely 100% not helpful or supportive or an ally. And if you are one of those men who's not prepared to get a vasectomy, to stop having sex, to double up on contraception, and even then be prepared to face the consequences later on, I have to ask the women or the people with uteruses in your life, like, do you actually want that man in your life? Because I fucking wouldn't. If any of the men in my life, boyfriend, brothers, friends that I meet in the fucking co-op, whoever, if any of them turn around and said to me, well, you can just stop having sex, but by the way, we're straight men and we're not going to stop having sex, I would lose it. I would make a full fucking scene and he would be gone, because that is not okay. Banning abortion, overturning legislation like Roe v. Wade, having it be incredibly difficult, prohibitively expensive, having to travel potentially hundreds and hundreds of miles for this very essential piece of healthcare means that you need to step up and be even better than you already are. And if you're not, then you're not helping and you're not supporting. And if you think that it's okay for them to do this, then you are also not looking out for the best interests of the women in your life. And there are people who believe that a woman should put her health and her safety and her very life at risk in favor of carrying a pregnancy to term. And that is absolutely 100% not pro-life. You're not pro-life if you're letting kids be hungry and cold. You're not pro-life if you're in the UK and you're voting Conservative. I'm sorry, but you're just not. You're not pro-life in America if you're voting Republican. I'm sorry, but you're just not. If you keep putting people in power who take and take and take and take and take from our children, you are not pro-life. You don't give a shit about the children. What you give a shit about is controlling women's bodies and stopping them from making an autonomous decision on how they get to live their own life. You're not pro-life, you're anti-women. It's just not okay. I'm sorry, it's just not okay. And I have ranted for almost half an hour now about this. And I feel a lot emptier, but I feel absolutely no better, and I'm still absolutely incensed. Anyway, that is all for this month. I'm pretty sure this video is going to go down like a fucking lead balloon, but do you know what? I don't care. I just needed to rant, and it felt weird putting a video about women's reproductive health up without addressing this. So next month you get to watch me wax my face and make a right mess of myself and ramble on about fertility and PCOS symptoms and boobs, and isn't that going to be so much fun? This is a safe place for anyone who wants to have a kind, respectful conversation about these issues. I am more than happy to just let you guys talk it out in the comments. I also would love to know if a uterus owners only I need a catchier name than that. If a uterus owners only Discord server would be good, I would love to know if that's something you would like. I would love to create a safe space for anyone with a uterus to come and discuss things like women's reproductive health and experiences with conditions such as PCOS and endometriosis and whatever else women's bodies have going on. Because you know what? Our bodies are amazing and they do a lot of things, and some of those things are not good. So if you would like me to create a space somewhere, please let me know in the comments. That would be super helpful because I would really love to do that. And if it gets enough support, then I will set that up. I'm not even going to do my normal outro because it feels weird after the subject matter. I will see you guys next month, and just be nice. What's wrong with you all? Actually, no, not what's wrong with you all. You guys are great. I love you all. My audience is lovely. And even though my platform is teeny tiny, I feel very blessed that actually the people who watch my videos and engage with my content are frequently so kind and so open and so loving towards each other and to me as well. So I really appreciate the space that we're creating here on the YouTubes. So thank you. Let me know about potentially having like a private area where we can all swap horror stories about being women. And I will see you guys next month.